What if the car in your driveway is already headed for extinction and the automaker isn't saying a word? Sales are collapsing, models are disappearing, and owners are being left stranded with cars nobody wants. In this video, we're counting down 13 car brands on the edge of collapse, the scandals behind their fall, and why owning one could wreck your wallet and destroy resale value. Let's dive in. Coming in at number 13 is Genesis. Genesis stormed into the US with bold styling, advanced tech, and prices that undercut BMW and Mercedes. On paper, it looked like the new king of affordable luxury, but luxury buyers don't care about bargains. They care about status. And to many, Genesis still feels like Hyundai in disguise. The numbers back it up. In 2024, Genesis sold 75,003 cars in the US, up from 68,798 in 2023. But next to BMW's 362,000, Mercedes's 282,000, and Lexus's 319,000, Genesis barely registers. It's still fighting for recognition, not dominance. Here's the red flag for owners. Reliability and reputation are crushing resale value. In 2022, Genesis recalled nearly 95,000 vehicles. The G80, GV60, and GV70 were recalled for fuel pump failures that caused stalling. In luxury, even one major recall can destroy trust. That means faster depreciation, higher repair costs, and a shrinking pool of buyers down the road. The ownership experience makes it worse. Genesis promised exclusive showrooms, but most buyers are still directed to Hyundai lots. Luxury customers expect red carpet service, not free coffee next to Elantras. Then add tariffs. A 25% US tax on Korean imports drives prices up, and even US-built models depend on costly Korean parts. Meanwhile, the EV hope, the GV60, is overpriced, underwhelming, and already losing ground. Without a turnaround, Genesis risks fading fast, leaving owners stuck with cars no one wants. But if you think this brand is struggling, the next one shows how fast a reputation can sink. Number 12, Buick. Buick is alive, but barely breathing. For decades, it's carried the old folks' car stigma, and that shadow still follows it. Younger buyers don't see Buick as modern or aspirational. To them, it's grandpa's ride, not a brand for the future. Yes, sales inched upward in 2024. Buick moved 183,421 vehicles in the US, up 16% from 2023, but that looks tiny next to Toyota's 2.3 million or Honda's 1.3 million. Buick doesn't feel like a competitor. It feels like a side note. The lineup doesn't fix the problem. In America, Buick offers 3 SUVs, the Encore GX, Envision, and Envista. Critics dismiss them as Chevrolets in disguise, and buyers see the same thing. When your cars look like rebadged siblings, credibility as a luxury light brand disappears. Scandals have deepened the cracks. The Tiger Woods sponsorship was meant to inject cool factor. Instead, it bled millions and ended in embarrassment. Then came mechanical headaches. The Encore and Encore GX have been plagued with engine performance issues, oil leaks, and turbocharger failures. And that's the red flag. Buick isn't strong enough in luxury to win consumer status, and it's too expensive to lure budget shoppers. For owners, that means sinking resale, shrinking dealer support, and the looming risk that GM could pull the plug on the brand in the US altogether. The next collapse comes from a brand that once defined American prestige. At 11, we have Lincoln. Few names once carried as much weight in American luxury as Lincoln, but today, that badge is slipping. And for consumers, the warning signs are impossible to ignore. It starts with reliability. Owners report air suspension leaks that turn a smooth ride into a sagging mess. Engines suffer from coolant and oil leaks, overheating, and loss of power. Transmissions add to the headache. with the MKZ notorious for harsh shifting and the Navigator prone to slipping gears. Add an electrical fault, from wiring failures to glitchy infotainment, and buyers paying for comfort are getting chaos instead. AC failures leave drivers sweating in cars sold as luxury. The MKX suffers transfer case issues. The town car battles spark plug and suspension faults. And the Takata airbag recall still shadows the brand's reputation. And then comes the bigger red flag: Lincoln's fading market relevance. Younger buyers aren't interested. Rivals like BMW, Lexus, and Cadillac dominate while Lincoln dealerships shrink. Consumer Reports ranks Lincoln number 24 overall, number 12 in luxury, and number 13 in road tests. Mediocre numbers for a brand once tied to presidents and prestige. For owners, that means weaker resale, higher repair bills, and shrinking support. Unless Lincoln repairs both its image and its cars, it risks becoming a relic, taking its loyal drivers down with it. Prestige alone isn't enough. The next badge proves even Italian style can't cover up deep cracks. And if you want the straight truth about the car industry, the kind dealers won't tell you, make sure you subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming. Sliding into number 10 is Alfa Romeo. These cars still turn heads with their sleek lines, sporty handling, and that historic Italian badge. But behind the beauty is a brand sinking fast, and owners are the ones paying the price. Consumer Reports ranked Alfa Romeo 27th overall in 2025, 13th among luxury brands, and 26th in road tests. That's bottom territory, and when reliability looks this poor, resale value collapses. Buyers shy away, dealers slash trade-ins, and owners eat the losses. The problems are constant. Electrical failures cause warning lights, glitchy infotainment, and even sudden shutdowns. Transmissions shift rough, oil leaks are common, and suspension wear ruins ride quality. These issues drive up repair bills while dragging down confidence in the brand. Inside, luxury falls flat. Owners complain of cheap plastics, fragile knobs, and uneven panel gaps. Instead of precision, buyers get disappointment, and cars show wear sooner than rivals. Sales reveal the reality. In the US, models like the Giulia and Stelvio only move with steep discounts, and dealership support doesn't match luxury expectations. Many customers describe inattentive service, leaving owners frustrated and worried about long-term care. Then the scandals. In 2019, parent FCA paid billions for Dieselgate cheating. In 2024, even branding backfired. The planned Milano name was blocked, forcing a rushed switch to Junior. Without real fixes, Alfa Romeo risks leaving owners stuck with stylish cars that depreciate fast. The next brand has the same exotic bloodline, but its fall is even steeper. Number 9, Maserati. Italian passion once made this badge legendary. Today, it's sliding toward collapse. In 2024, Maserati's global sales collapsed 57%, plunging from 26,600 vehicles to 11,300. That's not a slowdown, that's a free fall. Models like the Levante, Ghibli, and Quattroporte once turned heads. Now, they gather dust in showrooms while buyers head straight for Porsche or BMW. Even Stellantis, Maserati's parent, had to call in consultants to decide if the brand should be sold, merged, or shut down. The US was supposed to be Maserati's jackpot. Instead, import tariffs added a brutal 25% tax on every car. That makes an already expensive Maserati nearly impossible to justify against rivals offering more car for less money. To fight back, Maserati is trying VIP experiences and custom builds. But the bigger problems are still lurking. The EV rollout is delayed, demand is weak, and some planned models were canceled altogether. For owners, the risk is huge. If Stellantis pulls the plug, you could be left with an orphaned luxury car. Parts may disappear, resale will collapse, and service could dry up overnight. This isn't just a stumble, it's an identity crisis. And if Maserati doesn't find its footing fast, the Trident won't just lose its shine, it could vanish from the road entirely. And if you think a legendary badge can't vanish, the next one shows how wrong that belief can be. At number 8 sits Jaguar. Once a symbol of British luxury, Jaguar is now teetering on the edge of collapse. Known for its sleek sedans and roaring sports cars, the brand has gutted its lineup. In 2024, Jaguar pulled the plug on the XE, XF, F-Type, I-Pace, and E-Pace in the US. Only the F-Pace SUV survives, as the company bets everything on a risky pivot to all-electric luxury. That gamble has created a product vacuum. No new EV will arrive until late 2025. 2 more are planned for 2026. But until then, showrooms are running on fumes with nothing new to offer. The rebrand made matters worse. The iconic leaping cat logo was replaced with a plain J in a circle. The new slogan, Live Vivid, came with fashion ads and vague lines like brake molds. Longtime fans called it tone deaf, and critics blasted the brand for chasing image over engineering. The sales collapse is also brutal. In April 2025, Jaguar registered just 49 cars in Europe, a staggering 97.5% drop from the year before. Year-to-date sales plunged 75.1%, and global volumes fell from 180,833 in 2018 to 26,862 in 2024 to 2025. Dealers are left with empty lots, resale values are tanking, and customer confidence is vanishing. Unless Jaguar's new EVs land flawlessly, this reinvention could speed up its disappearance from the road. And if you want proof this isn't just hype, check out my other video on the worst car brands only stupid people buy. Now, British luxury isn't the only one in trouble. The next story is about a Japanese brand fighting to stay alive. Holding the 7th spot is Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi once carried rally legends and street icons. Today, it's fighting to stay alive. In 2024, the brand sold 109,843 vehicles in the US, a steep drop from earlier years. By early 2025, things got worse. A new US tariff froze deliveries, leaving Mitsubishi cars stranded at ports with no clear path forward. Dealers were left empty-handed, and buyers had nothing new to shop for. The lineup itself is shrinking fast. The budget-friendly Mirage is gone. What's left? The Outlander, Outlander Sport, and Eclipse Cross, none of which are lighting up sales charts. Even the redesigned Outlander has failed to meet expectations. For owners, quality and trust have been battered for decades. In 2016, Mitsubishi admitted to falsifying fuel economy data for over 600,000 vehicles, triggering raids, resignations, and billions in lost value. Before that came a recall cover-up scandal that further destroyed credibility. Those disasters forced Nissan to buy a controlling stake in the company to keep it alive. On the road, things don't look better. Owners report transmission failures, weak AC, bad suspension parts, electrical faults, and engines that simply won't start. Build quality is hit or miss, tech feels outdated, and resale value sinks fast. For anyone thinking Mitsubishi means affordable reliability, the reality is harsher. This brand may drain your wallet instead of saving it. Survival gets even tougher when a so-called luxury name starts running out of road. Number 6 belongs to Infiniti. Luxury buyers used to see this badge as a bold alternative to BMW and Lexus. Today, it's fading into the background. In 2024, Infiniti sold just 58,070 cars in the US, a 10% drop from the year before. Over the last decade, sales have been cut nearly in half. That slide has forced the brand to shut down standalone showrooms. Many Infiniti dealers are now folded into Nissan stores, a clear sign the luxury shine is fading. Models keep disappearing too. The QX50 and QX55 end in 2025, and the Q50 sedan is already gone. What's left is a thin lineup priced out of reach for most buyers. Scandals didn't help either. In 2018, Infiniti was caught inflating performance numbers. Before that, recalls over airbags and power steering failures hit more than 1.3 million vehicles. Those blunders destroyed buyer trust and sent resale values sliding. For owners, this decline means fewer options, shrinking dealer support, and cars that lose value faster. Reliability scores hover at average or below, with older platforms and CVTs dragging performance down. Infiniti says it will rebound with new EVs and a redesigned Q50 in 2027. Right now, this once proud name is running out of road, leaving owners with cars that are harder to service and sell. The next collapse is bigger. This one was once a household name across America. At 5, it's Chrysler. The fall of Chrysler is one of the sharpest drops in modern auto history. In 2005, this brand sold more than 600,000 vehicles in the US. By 2024, sales had crashed to under 125,000, an 80% collapse. Look at the lineup today. The 300 sedan is dead. The Voyager is fleet only. And the Pacifica, Chrysler's last consumer model, is losing ground fast. Sales of the Pacifica slipped 11% in 2024, dragging overall volume down 22.6%, while rivals like Toyota's Sienna and Kia's Carnival surged ahead. A comeback was promised with the Airflow EV, but Stellantis axed the project in mid-2024, calling it too expensive and already outdated. With no new products, Chrysler is running on borrowed time. Even Stellantis admits it. CEO Carlos Tavares warned in 2024 that several brands may not survive past 2026. Chrysler is high on that list. Dealership trouble makes it worse. A main dealer defaulted on a $4.5 million loan, and a Georgia store collapsed after a fraud scandal left customers without cash or titles. Chrysler has faced one blow after another, from diesel emissions fraud to UAW bribery scandals. Pile on recalls for stalling engines, faulty suspensions, and electrical failures. And it's no surprise buyer confidence has completely collapsed. For owners, this collapse means plummeting resale values, shrinking dealer networks, and the real risk of driving a car abandoned by its own maker. And if that's not enough, the next brand proves even giants can fall in a few years. Number 4 is Nissan. This brand once ruled the roads. The GTR, the 240Z, and the Maxima cars defined generations. But today, Nissan is fighting for its life. In 2024, US sales hit 865,938. On paper, that looks solid, but the details tell the real story. The Maxima collapsed, with sales down over 90%. The Altima is sliding too. Globally, Nissan expects to lose $5.3 billion, $3.5 billion gone from its US operations alone. It's not just sales. A failed merger with Honda in 2024 could have created the world's third largest automaker. Instead, talks fell apart when Honda demanded control. Since then, Nissan has been chasing new partners, from Stellantis to Foxconn. Nothing is signed. Meanwhile, 9,000 jobs are gone, plants are shutting down, and 2 planned US EVs were canceled. No hybrids, no plug-ins, no future-ready lineup. The cracks started years ago. In 2018, CEO Carlos Ghosn was arrested for hiding millions and using company funds like his personal bank. His dramatic escape in a box to Lebanon exposed corporate chaos that's never been fixed. Add in an emissions scandal where Nissan admitted cheating on fuel economy tests, and trust has collapsed. Now, insiders warn the company may only have 12 to 14 months left without a miracle. For owners, that means plummeting resale, shaky service, and the risk of driving a brand that might not survive. The next one isn't about history, it's about promises that collapsed almost overnight. Taking third place is Lucid Motors. Lucid was sold as the Tesla killer. The sleek Air sedan promised 516 miles of range, luxury interiors, and tech that would change the game. Buyers lined up expecting the future of driving. But instead of rewriting history, Lucid is now fighting for survival. The company lost $2.7 billion in 2024 and over $3.1 billion the year before. Its stock has collapsed more than 95% from its peak. Investors are panicking, customers are frustrated, and survival now rests almost entirely on Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which holds a controlling stake. Production has been chaotic. Cars sat unfinished for lack of basics like carpet and glass. Targets were cut, delays stacked up, and even the much-hyped Gravity SUV faces doubt. Then, in early 2025, CEO Peter Rawlinson stepped aside, leaving an interim leader to calm the storm. Quality problems piled on. The Air was recalled for high-voltage failures that caused sudden power loss. Regulators confirmed 10 cases. Owners also report buggy software, glitchy driver assist, and infotainment failures. For a six-figure car, it feels half-baked. Lawsuits accuse executives of inflating production forecasts to secure funding, and labor regulators say workers were fired for union support. For buyers, the danger is simple. A brand this unstable could leave you with a car that's nearly worthless overnight. But if you think a high-tech startup falling apart is shocking, wait until you see a comeback story that crashed twice. At number 2, Fisker. It was supposed to be the great comeback. A bold SUV, futuristic styling, and the promise of redemption after Fisker's first crash in 2013. But by June 2024, the dream was dead again. The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. At first, the Ocean SUV looked like a winner. Production began in Austria in late 2022, with US deliveries rolling out in 2023. But almost immediately, problems surfaced. Doors jammed, hoods flew open, cars lost power mid-drive. The NHTSA launched multiple investigations, not for small quirks, but for dangerous flaws. By early 2024, production stopped cold. No more Oceans were built after March. Fisker had $273 million in sales, but a crushing $1.3 billion in debt. A rescue deal collapsed. Stock, already down 90% from its 2021 peak, flatlined. Then came the lawsuits. Shareholders claimed fraud, regulators stepped in, and the SEC issued subpoenas over financial mismanagement, and the cars themselves tell the story. Buggy software, broken key fobs, and promised features like Apple CarPlay that never arrived. Worst of all, owners now struggle to get service, and some can't even drive their vehicles. You already know this collapse hits hardest on the owners. No parts, no support, and resale values that sink like a stone. Fisker didn't just fail as a company, it failed the very customers who believed in its comeback. And if that sounds bad, the brand sitting at number 1 will leave you stunned. Finally, number 1 is Canoo. The future once looked bright for Canoo. NASA signed on. Walmart ordered 4,500 vans, and a new Oklahoma plant was set to hire 1,400 workers. Investors piled in. Headlines called it the next Tesla, but the hype collapsed fast. By January 2025, Canoo filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Operations stopped cold. The balance sheet was brutal. $50,000 in assets against more than $160 million in debt. The Oklahoma factory never delivered. Workers were sent home overnight. A critical loan from the Department of Energy never arrived. Foreign funding deals collapsed. Cash dried up, and the dream died. The fallout turned ugly. Former employees sued under the WARN Act, saying they were laid off illegally. Rival EV startup Harbinger accused Canoo of shady asset transfers, claiming CEO Tony Aquila scooped up assets from another failed automaker without proper bidding. Critics called it a fire sale in the shadows. And for buyers, there's nothing left. No warranties, no service, no resale value. The vans that once looked futuristic are now stranded, unsupported, and worthless. Canoo didn't just stumble, it vanished. And if a company with NASA and Walmart behind it can disappear overnight, what does that mean for other fragile EV startups fighting to stay alive? And that brings us to the end of today's video on car brands on the edge of collapse. You've seen how the wrong brand can cost you thousands, but features inside your car can be just as dangerous. Watch stupid car features that destroy reliability and lifespan to protect yourself even further.